Sabu to challenge the franchise for the ECW Heavyweight Championship. Wait a minute! Sabu just crashed through the wall. Sabu couldn't find the curtain. He came crashing through the wall. He's diving at the referee. Sabu wants the franchise. And here comes Paulie dangerously out after Sabu. 911 and Paulie too slow. Sabu escaped from the gurney in the locker room and came crashing through the wall. What an entrance! And this should be an outstanding matchup. Who is the future of professional wrestling? Is it this unpredictable whirlwind of destruction known as Sabu? Or is it the ECW Heavyweight Champion, the franchise, Shane Douglas? Well, Paulie may be speaking prematurely, as the question of who is the future of this sport has not been answered yet, but will be as a result of this matchup. And here comes the franchise accompanied by his entourage of the offensive line, Mr. Hughes, and his new head cheerleader, Angel. How interesting is this situation? 911 and Mr. Hughes have no love lost. And Angel and Paulie are sure to cross paths at ringside. And here we go. The franchise and Sabu for the ECW Heavyweight Championship. Sabu diving at the franchise. Franchise managing to elude Sabu to this point. How long can he keep that up? The two are ready to lock up. One would think, no, it's the franchise. The single leg takedown on Sabu. Kicked off by Sabu. And both men back to a vertical base. Angel arguing with the fan in the front row wearing the leather mask. Something tells me she's no stranger to leather masks. The franchise now taking the advantage on Sabu with a front face lock. The franchise, such an accomplished all-around wrestler. He can do it all. In the tradition of wrestlers like Lou Thez, the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, the Briscoes. The franchise is truly the complete wrestler. Sabu misses a wild right hand. Now the franchise jabbing away and Sabu rolls out of the ring. The franchise going on after Sabu. Stomping away on the challenger. And the franchise launches himself at Sabu. Sabu goes face first into that steel rail. Shane Douglas going to the top turnbuckle. He can do it all. Double axe handle on top of Sabu. And Douglas screaming, I am the future of professional wrestling. 2 and no. 1, 2. 2 count only as Sabu refusing to be pinned by Shane Douglas. Sabu would love to be the ECW Heavyweight Champion again at one time. He was both the ECW Heavyweight Champion and Television Champion simultaneously. A feat that has yet to be repeated. And probably never will here in the ECW. Sabu now at the side headlock on the franchise. Shane Douglas goes for a belly-to-back suplex. Sabu goes over the back. Go around by Shane Douglas attempting for belly-to-back again. No, Sabu rolls him up. 1, 2, and so close. One wrestling by Sabu and Shane Douglas. And this is the type of wrestling that exemplifies ECW. Vertical suplex. Sabu goes up and Douglas brings him down. Shane Douglas taunting 911 and Paulie dangerously. Textbook vertical suplex by the franchise. Now with the head scissors on Sabu. Is there anything Shane Douglas can't do? Sabu attempting to kick out of the head scissors. 911 threatening Shane Douglas. Paulie dangerously looks visibly upset as his investment, his meal ticket, Sabu, is being choked out by the franchise. And Douglas really applying the pressure now. Sabu finally kicks out, and Shane Douglas floors Sabu with the clothesline. Sabu gets folded up, lands on the back of his head, and Shane Douglas telling Paulie, I am the future of professional wrestling, and he may very well be correct. 1, 2, and 2.5. 2.5, call it 3/4. 1, 2 again. And nobody to this point has been able to handle Sabu with such relative ease. Backbreaker on Sabu. Shane Douglas feeling quite confident at this point. Now pulling back on the head of Sabu. The version of the camel clutch now locked on Sabu. Really sitting back. What phenomenal condition the franchise is in. Spends quite a bit of time in the weights, as well as cardiovascular training. Keeps his body fat very low. Comes in at a fighting weight of 235. Sabu, on the other hand, I have no idea what he does to keep in shape. Perhaps running from men with nets. I don't know. I can't see him actually training. Shane Douglas off the ropes, catches the foot to the midsection. Sabu now going for a powerbomb and scores, yes! 1, 2, and no! Shane Douglas barely getting his shoulder up. We were just an inch away from having a new ECW heavyweight champion as the franchise tumbles backwards from the ring. Sabu now going out after the champion. He's got a chair. And right over the head of Shane Douglas. Scars all over the body of Sabu. Looks like he was in a gang fight but didn't know anybody. And Sabu sits Shane Douglas on a chair at ringside. Paulie holding Douglas in place. And Sabu dives on Shane Douglas, and the two go through the chair and onto the floor. Now trying to assist Sabu, who may have knocked himself silly. Well, Sabu rolls back into the ring with the chair, but the franchise is nowhere to be seen. He's nowhere in sight. So for a second, Sabu was going to throw that chair into the third row. How's that for a souvenir? Look, Mom, I got a t-shirt, a baseball cap, and a chair in the forehead. Only in the ECW arena. And our fans would love that. And there you see all that is left of that chair. Sabu trying to set up that chair to springboard off of. It won't stand. And neither will the franchise if this keeps up. Well, Sabu gets a fresh chair from Paulie. And the franchise is in a bad way. Here comes Sabu through the air. He missed it. The franchise somehow manages to get out of the way of Sabu, who launched himself like a human missile at the ECW champion. And Shane Douglas now taking over on Sabu. Atomic drop onto that chair. And that chair is bent. Imagine what it did to the spine of Sabu. Douglas scooping Sabu. And Shane Douglas saying that is all slingshot splash. 1, 2, no. Not quite 2 as Sabu puts his foot on the rope. The franchise now going for a pile driver. Will he get it? Yes, pile driver. The franchise spikes the challenger. Two and a half only. And again, the franchise with a very arrogant cover on the challenger. That doesn't make any sense to me. Get the victory, Shane. Claim the future of professional wrestling. Sabu shot in. No, Sabu makes an adjustment in midair and rebounds back into the face of the franchise. Slam on Shane Douglas. Sabu does a 1.5 in midair and missed it. And now the franchise rolling up Sabu. 1, 2, and 1. A pinning maneuver by the franchise. How does he do it? Where does he bring these maneuvers out of? He is truly a wrestling wizard. And again, the franchise pulling back on the head of Sabu while having that knee planted firmly in the back of his neck. And Sabu counters with a fist to the face. Sabu goes for a Frankensteiner, but Shane Douglas cuts him off. Turns it into a powerbomb. The franchise now going to the top and drops the elbow. Shane Douglas just walking the top turnbuckle like a cat. And Shane Douglas is fighting for air. Douglas now turning over Sabu for a single-legged Boston Crab. Or a Pittsburgh Crab, depending on how you look at it. The franchise, a native of the Steel City. Sabu trying to fire the Boston Crab. And now Shane Douglas slapping on what is a version of the STF, the Japanese submission hold, made popular here in the United States by Eric Watts. But Eric Watts never executed that maneuver with the ferocity of the franchise Shane Douglas. Douglas in a class by himself. Referee asking Sabu if he wants to give it up. I don't think Sabu speaks English. What's the point? Shane Douglas not relinquishing this hold. Perhaps he believes this is the hold that he will ride to victory. No! Douglas breaks the hold. Douglas screaming to Mr. Hughes because 911 is on the ring apron. The roughneck and 911 now exchanging words. We may see Mr. Hughes and 911 go at it. And the fans want to see it. back to his feet. And Shane Douglas is just unmercifully... Sabu goes to the top turnbuckle. The franchise trying to shake it off. Sabu launches himself at Douglas. Douglas winds up tumbling over the top rope and to the outside, catching the steel guardrail as he hits the floor. Yes, the franchise versus the Phenom. This match is for the future of professional wrestling. Sabu over the top. Shane Douglas moves. Sabu with a great adjustment in midair, but did not escape that one, as he caught the full brunt of Sabu, and now the franchise is down, but so is the challenger. Sabu will risk life and limb to win a matchup, especially for the ECW Heavyweight Championship. A title which is quickly gaining more and more notoriety from continent to continent. And Sabu just launches a chair into the face of the franchise. Sabu trying to make his way back into the ring. And Shane Douglas is sent over the guardrail and into the second row. Sabu now Sabu launches himself from the steel guardrail on top of the ECW Heavyweight Champion. And perhaps it is Sabu who will become the new future of professional wrestling. No, the franchise fighting back. And the franchise uses the chair as well. He can brawl with the best of them. To be the champion here in the ECW, you've got to be a complete athlete, a wrestler, a brawler, a street fighter, a master tactician. And the franchise is all that and more. Douglas again ascending to the top turnbuckle. Grabbing a ringside sign one of our fans had made in support of 911. Shane said, "Dial this, pal." Sabu sent it to the guardrail once again. Shane Douglas showing no signs of letting up on the challenger. And Shane Douglas gets crushed on the steel guardrail. And this matchup has gone back and forth. Oh no, 911 has the table. We've seen this before. That table is being set up, and you can bet will come into play. The lights have gone out. The lights have gone out. Sabu now with the chin lock on Shane Douglas. There go the lights.
Sabu! Show that piece of crap who the future of wrestling is!
And just as Paulie shouts encouragement and calls Shane Douglas with what he called him, Douglas fights his way out. That may backfire on Paulie dangerously, as he has raised the ire of the franchise, who is now peppering Sabu with straight right hands. And the franchise has come alive. No, Sabu fights back. Douglas shot in. No, Sabu shot in. And again, the franchise continues to unload on Sabu. Irish whip across the ring. Here comes Shane. Shane missing with the flying head scissors and tumbles to the floor. Set up against that table. He would. Sabu back misses. Shane Douglas moves. Sabu backflip right into the table. He may have knocked himself cold. And Paul Lee looks worried. 911 over to help Sabu. The referee now counting Sabu. Sabu might lose himself the matchup here. He may get counted out. Shane Douglas looking down in amazement as his opponent may have knocked himself silly and taken himself right out of this matchup. Douglas telling the referee, count him out. Shane will take the victory. Telling the ref, count. Paulie dangerously screaming, he broke his neck. Sabu he really may be injured here. This may be all. This matchup may be over right now. Forget the count out, forget the match. We may have to get an ambulance in here. Paul Lee screaming, he's hurt, he's done. Shane Douglas saying, I don't give a damn if he's hurt. Count him out. And that is all. Sabu has been counted out. But the bigger story is Sabu will he ever wrestle again? Sabu backflipped into a table and then landed on the concrete floor. He may have broken his neck.